Well, hello, this is Rosa Arts Creations. How you doing? Bringing you today a different video that I haven't done before. I'm using my Betty Crocker cookbook. Got me some ground beef. I'm not going to turn my fan on. It's called Hamburger Bean Bake. What you do is you get 4 slices of bacon, but I'm skipping that because I don't like yucky bacon. Soggy bacon, and I think it's going to be too moist. 1.5 pounds of hamburger, 3 medium onions, 1 medium stalk of celery. We're skipping that because I don't have any celery. 1 beef bouillon cube, 1/2 cup boiling water, 1/2 to 1 cup garlic, but I'm using my 1 cup boiling water when I make the bouillon cube in my boiling water, so we're going to use that same water for that. And 1/2 to 1 clove garlic crushed, 3/4 cup of ketchup, 2 tablespoons of prepared mustard, 1 3/4 teaspoon salt, pepper, and beans of your choice. And I'm using my processed beans. I've got some black beans, white navy beans, and I'm draining my pintos. So let's get to bacon. Let's get to cooking, not baking, we're cooking today. So I'm going to turn my burner on. I'm going to brown my ground meat. So you're going to brown your ground meat. Then once it's browned, you're going to drain it and soak up all the oil. And I'm using my meat masher because you want it to be fine and crumbly. Okay. I forgot to take out my frozen onions because they're already diced. And I'm not dicing an onion because, number one, I don't have a fresh onion to dice. It is what it is, right? Okay, great. So, there's my first. Okay, I can break that up. And you want to saute your onions with your ground beef. Smell-o-vision, I wish we had it, but we don't. Going to move you over just a tad. And while that's browning, I'm going to get the rest of my ingredients, which I have almost all of them there. And then we're going to bring you back to this next phase. We'll be right back. Okay, we're back. The meat's just about totally cooked. I'm going to turn off the heat. Okay, so this is done. I like to scrape all my little morsels off of this thing because it gets caught in between the little groovy things. Okay, I'm just checking to make sure all the meat's cooked, and it is. Now I'm going to be adding my oil absorbing sheets. You just stick it in your skillet, pot, whatever it is that you've got, and it absorbs the oil. I got 2 just in case, because I wasn't too sure how many I was going to need. I'm just moving the meat around so I can absorb all this excess oil. Oh, there goes my phone. I got a chore to do later. I didn't realize I was going to be cooking today, but this is my day to cook, so all is good. Just going to get all the excess and see how it just absorbs it all. It kind of looks like parchment paper, but it's not like parchment. It's kind of, but it's not. Okay, I still have a little bit more, so I got me some paper towels just in case. Because it says absorb and drain all the oil. So depending on what kind of meat you have, determines how much oil residue you may or may not have. This one didn't really have a whole lot. And we are consumer shoppers, so sometimes we prefer the 90-20, the 90-10, so it's less fat. But because of prices, sometimes we have to go with the 70-30. I'm just moving this around to make sure all the oil is absorbed by this paper towel. And it looks like it all, oh, there's a little bit more right here. Okay, shake off any excess meat, put this in the garbage, and I'm good to go. Okay, so that part's done. What does the recipe say to do next? Okay, dissolve the bouillon cube with the boiling water, stir the bouillon, garlic, ketchup, mustard, salt, and pepper, and the beans in the hamburger mixture. So we just pour everything in. And then, oh, that's it. Let me get my oven on, 375. Okay, so our 1 cup of hot water with the bouillon. It's going to go in. Well, that bouillon cube didn't dissolve. And I had boiling hot water in it too. And it sat for like 20 minutes, which is more than enough time that it should have dissolved. But it will when it gets to the bacon part. Okay, now it says add the bouillon, the garlic, minced garlic, and then ketchup, which is, how much ketchup do they want? 3/4 of a cup. I'm not going to measure, I'm just going to pour. I'm good to go with that. That's close enough to me. And then mustard, 2 tablespoons of mustard. And I'm using our spicy brown mustard. I like this mustard. A little bit more than 2 tablespoons, but close enough. And then I diced up some fresh tomatoes from my garden. Okay, what else is next? I'm gonna stir in the bouillon, the garlic, the ketchup, the mustard, salt and pepper, and the beans. Oh, let me get my salt and pepper. We got these new battery-operated salt and pepper shakers. My first time using them. Whoop. That comes out fast. That wasn't rock salt. That's pretty good. This is peppercorn. It's grinding up my peppercorn, so I get fresh pepper. And fresh pepper is always better than store-bought ground pepper. I'm not going to put too much salt in here because I know that bouillon has some salt in it. There we go. That wasn't too bad. Now let's get our beans in here. And then we'll do a stirring. And hopefully the oven will be ready. Here's I do rinse and drain my beans after I can them. Every time. I always rinse and drain them. There's always that yucky stuff that settles from processing. And it's been sitting there. These beans were canned. I don't need to turn the heat on. I'm just going to stir this up in September 2024, last year. Man, this smells so good. I wish y'all could smell it. Just stir everything up. The mustard, the garlic. Because my beans were pre-cooked, or you can use canned beans. And so you don't have to really do too much to it other than basically heat it up. Because after you do this, you put this in an ungreased casserole dish. And it says a 2-quart casserole dish. This is close enough to 2 quarts for me. And it's uncovered and ungreased. Shoot, excuse me, that pepper got to me. Okay. So the only thing that I'm not doing is I'm not doing the bacon because you sprinkle the bacon on top, but it's going to get mushy, and I cannot handle mushy bacon. I like it very crispy and crunchy. Okay, so you dissolve the bouillon cube in the water, stir in the bouillon cube, the garlic, the ketchup, mustard, salt and pepper, and the beans into the hamburger mixture. Then you pour everything into the casserole dish. And I think all that's pretty well stirred. I don't even see that bouillon cube anymore. And it's going to come out all nice and bubbly. It's only going to bake in the oven at 375 for 30 minutes. So let's get to spooning. I would normally pick this up and move it, but I don't have any grip. And let me get another spoon, a bigger spoon. And I'll just spoon it in. I gotta wait for the oven to preheat anyway. So that's phase. I'm gonna go ahead and continue to do this. Pop it in the oven, and we'll bring you back in 30 minutes when we do the taste test. We'll bring you back. Okay, we back. It's out of the oven. Let me show you. Of course, the top part did get a little dry because it said to do it uncovered. But there it is. Smells really good. I love the onion smell. Now let's pour us some on my plate and let's do the taste test. If I had my way, I'd have some chips to go with it. Or tortillas, but can't do that. Can't do that. Yum, yum, yum. Let's see what it tastes like. Bean, beef, tomato. Oh, I could use a little bit of salt. I don't need no more pepper. You can taste the garlic. You can definitely taste the onions, the beans. I'm so glad I drained the beans before I cooked them. Two thumbs ups. This is my version of the Betty Crocker cookbook, Hamburger Bake. Thanks so much for watching. We'll catch you in the next video. Take care now. Bye-bye.